I must commend the United States. They did make available logistics, vehicles, but unfortunately, most of the vehicles were second-hand vehicles, and therefore they broke down a lot many times. And in fact, it put our personnel in great danger when they broke down in very dangerous places.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for your greatest support. Now, fellow Kenyans, I would like to start by asking this question: that what is normally the cause of the beef between African leaders together with the United States of American president, that is Donald Trump? Because I realize something, that Trump doesn't want to hear anything, like he doesn't want anything to do with African leaders. I don't know what he claims, that I don't know Africa is, and I don't know whether he's trying to say that Africa is undeveloped, or I don't know, maybe he's trying to communicate something that perhaps maybe we are missing. That is why I'm asking that question. William Ruto, okay, African leaders went to United States of America, that is during the UN 80th Assembly meeting, and there are a lot of things that happened, whereby William Ruto claimed that US gave, remember there are their officers in Haiti. Being that there are officers in Haiti who are fighting in Haiti, I don't know, they're trying to bring peace in Haiti. There is a statement that was made by William Ruto concerning Haiti and the US. And this is what the president was saying, that US gave us old vehicles for Haiti operations. Ruto narrates how second-hand vehicles offered by US put officers in Haiti at risk.
Commend the Haitian government for the cooperation they have given to the MSS, without which it would have been a lot more difficult to achieve what has been achieved. I must also single out the Haitian police leadership. They have been immensely useful, and they have worked in collaboration with MSS in the efforts that we have undertaken. I must, however, say that we have been operating at a 40% capacity. Initially, it was expected that 2,500 security personnel would be made available. Unfortunately, they were not made available. It was also expected that there would have been force multipliers, that we would have armored personnel carriers, we would have enough logistical support to be able to make this mission successful. I must commend the United States. They did make available logistics, vehicles, but unfortunately, most of the vehicles were second-hand vehicles, and therefore they broke down a lot many times. And in fact, it put our personnel in great danger when they broke down in very dangerous places. But at least they stepped up. We didn't, however, get any useful support from any other court.
You know, one thing I believed, or one thing I knew from the word go, the moment Donald Trump took power, was that the agreement between William Ruto, officers or police officers going to Haiti, it was between Ruto and the former US president. It was not between Donald Trump and William Ruto. So that is why when Trump took power, William Ruto was very worried, because he was like, okay, all the deals that we did, Ruto knew very well that Kamala Harris was the one who was going to become the president. And let me assure you, suppose Kamala Harris became the president of US, William Ruto could have been going to United States of America frequently, because now the friend is the one that is the president. The United States of America is considered as the most superpower country. So it's like, you know, The moment Trump took power, things changed. And the truth of the matter is that Trump is one of those guys. You know, I love Trump with one thing. He doesn't, he know, he's a no-nonsense guy. He doesn't, I don't know whether we should say that he don't tolerate nonsense. I don't know. I think that is the best thing, the best way that we can put it. So William Ruto claiming that the United States of America gave police officers in Haiti old vehicles. That is why they are failing in their mission. I'm like, okay. So why they told us that the police officers in Haiti are successful, like they're fighting, they're doing so well. They are fighting in Haiti and everything is just fine. So what's changed? What is it that changed all of a sudden? You know, I've been listening to William Ruto. I was surprised.
In Haiti can and must be solved. I am happy that we are now having a conversation about the successor mission to MSS, but I thought I would bring to this gathering some insights on how success would look like. Because if we don't correct the mistakes of the past, we will most unlikely succeed. If we are sending an additional security team to Haiti, the mandate must be clear. Number one, we must be very clear on the mandate of what it is supposed to achieve. Number two, we must have a predictable resource package. It cannot be what Kenya has gone through, a game of guesswork. You know, voluntary, depending on people's goodwill, depending on when they have time and when they can get some attention. It must be predictable. And that is if we are serious about solving the matter of Haiti. And I don't understand why we cannot be serious. The people of Haiti may be people of African descent, but for heaven's sake, they are members of the human race, like us. And they deserve as much, not less. And number three, it is my very considered view that we must have the necessary logistical support to be able to make that mission succeed. I will give you a case in point. You know, we wanted to set up 12 forward operating bases where territory that has been claimed or reclaimed from gangs, we would then station security people to make sure that it doesn't revert back to gangs. But that was not possible because of the logistical support architecture that did not allow mechanics to leave Port-au-Prince, that did not allow food and other logistical support to leave Port-au-Prince. I seriously think that we have an opportunity, a historic opportunity, to solve the Haiti equation. And I speak from a position of knowledge and experience, having been in the theater in Haiti for the last year and a bit.
Though we expected that, I was just surprised. Another thing, I've heard Trump insulting the African leaders. And in fact, he's telling them openly that your country is going to hell.
I ended 7 wars, dealt with the leaders of each and every one of these countries, and never even received a phone call from the United Nations offering to help in finalizing the deal. All I got from the United Nations was an escalator that on the way up stopped right in the middle. If the First Lady wasn't in great shape, she would have fallen, but she's in great shape. We're both in good shape. We both stood. And then a teleprompter that didn't work. These are the 2 things I got from the United Nations, a bad escalator and a bad teleprompter. Thank you very much. You have to end it now. Let's see, I can tell you. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. In America, we've taken bold action to swiftly shut down uncontrolled migration.
So my question is this, because there is something that I wanted to watch. There is a scenario, there's something that happened. William Ruto was asked a question, and I was spotted, I don't know whether I was reading it from ChatG. I don't know whether he was reading it from ChatGPT, I don't know. Because, the way he was even saying it, I don't know whether maybe he had it written somewhere, I don't know. Or maybe he was expecting such questions to be asked, so he had to prepare himself so well. Maybe, let's just assume that he prepared himself so well. But before we watch that, there is a statement that was made by Donald Trump here, which I want you to listen to. Now, before watching this last part, let me ask you this. Why is it that every moment there are meetings outside the country, William Ruto forwards himself, like he puts himself in forefront to try and maybe it's like he's defending Africa? Is he the defender of Africa or the defender of Kenya? Because, charity begins at home. You can't tell us that you're going to defend other countries outside of Africa simply because there is a summit somewhere. So you want to be heard, you speak loudly to be heard, yet your people are suffering. Even the Bible says that let my people go. So I think it's high time. It's high time these leaders realize that whatever they're doing, all of these things they've been doing, what they're doing, should change. Like the narrative should change completely, because if it doesn't change, then citizens are the ones that are really going to suffer. We are the ones that are going to suffer, and we'll keep on suffering. I don't know up to when.
His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of Kenya, welcome. Great to have you with us today. We've got a very distinguished career. Previously, more than a decade as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, working in a number of portfolios in the government cabinet, and over a decade as a Member of Parliament. Your Excellency, can I ask you to share with us why social participation to drive equity and sustainable development is a priority for Kenya, and tell us about the journey so far?
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the government and people of Kenya, I want to affirm one basic fact, that health, as we say in Kenya, is not a privilege for those who can afford. It is a right for every citizen. Rights, however, matter not when they are proclaimed on paper or in theory, but when they are realized in practice. This is why Kenya places people, communities, and their voices in the very heart of health governance. Distinguished delegates, social participation is the bridge that connects policy to people. It ensures that communities not only benefit from health services, but also help shape the decisions that govern them. It is in this spirit that Kenya strongly supports the World Health Assembly resolution on social participation and social connection in 2025, which we view as vital instruments of transformational governance and inclusive development. When communities participate in health decisions, three things happen. First, policy becomes responsive to real needs rather than remote directives. Second, accountability and transparency flourish as citizens can follow and track how resources are used. And three, health systems grow stronger and more resilient, trusted by the very people they serve, especially the most vulnerable. In Kenya, this is how we ensure that expectant mothers has access to essential antenatal care, that every child receives life-saving vaccines, and that families are supported in confronting the rising burden of non-communicable diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya's commitment to social participation is firmly anchored in both law and policy. Our Constitution guarantees the right to the highest attainable standard of health on one hand, and the right of citizens to participate in governance. Both are constitutional imperatives. The Public Finance Management Act embeds citizen input in budget making, including in health, while in the Health Act outlines mechanisms for community engagement in service delivery. We are also aligning policy with action. We recently enacted 4 transformative laws to drive universal health coverage reforms. And why I say we had to change the whole architecture around law to be able to make health much more responsive. The old law had no place for people. The old law did not give voice to the vulnerable and to the people at the margins. And that is why we had to change the legal framework completely. Yet legislation alone is not sufficient. Participation must be practical and tangible. To this end, Kenya is pursuing 5 concrete strategies. First, we have empowered community health promoters with medicines, smartphones, and stipends, co-financed by both levels of government to ensure that last-mile delivery of essential services is done. We have 109,000 community health promoters around Kenya, and we facilitate them to visit every home. And this is to bring the insights and ideas of local communities into the health delivery equation. Number 2, participatory budgeting has been strengthened at both levels of government, supported by digital platforms to help communities track health resources transparently. Thirdly, Kenya is reinforcing primary health care networks so that communities can actively shape planning, implementation, and oversight. Today, every facility, every hospital facility in Kenya participates directly using what we are calling financial inclusion fund to make sure that they can decide the resources that are being used in every health facility and on what areas. Number 4, health literacy programs are being expanded to equip citizens with knowledge to make informed decisions and engage in meaningful governance. And finally, we are promoting multi-sectoral collaboration by linking health with education, agriculture, and social protection, thereby addressing the broader social determinants of health. Together, these strategies are strengthening trust, deepening accountability, and building a health system that truly serves ordinary people. Yet, despite this evident progress, challenges remain, chief among them, sustainable funding or financing. The recent withdrawal of some external funds not only revealed diverse vulnerabilities, but also underscored a profound lesson. Ownership matters. When communities set priorities, monitor spending, and contribute through local mobilization and volunteerism, resilience is strengthened. I say this that today we have enhanced local mobilization of resources for health. There was a time we depended on USAID and all the other good people. But today, our 300 billion shillings health budget is wholly 100% mobilized using domestic resources by Kenyans. It speaks to sustainability and predictability. Social participation is therefore not only a moral obligation, but also a financial strategy that reduces waste, increases efficiency, maximizes impact, and builds ownership. In Kenya, we are deliberately building a system that is less dependent on external aid and more firmly grounded in domestic solutions and community leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, as we look at 2025 World Summit on Social Development, Kenya affirms that health equity is inseparable from social justice and sustainable development. We call on this meeting to embed social participation indicators in global health frameworks and share knowledge and innovation that empowers communities to shape their health destinies. Another critical indicator that should be embedded in social participation is the commitment of resources not only to medicines and infrastructure, but also to the democratic right of people to participate in decisions that affect their health. Together, we must forge a renewed global social contract anchored in solidarity, participation, and equity, where every person, regardless of geography or status, has the right and the power to shape their health, their future, and their societies. Thank you very much. And I don't feel like Mr. Walt.
At all, guys, that is just my thought, and that is all I have for today. Let me know what you think of the comment section, but don't forget to like and comment, and also tell me where you're watching this video from. Please subscribe. Until we meet again, I've been your host, Boniface. Bingo.